Debenhams have a painting for the Ted Baker, I think. Anybody got the Ted Baker bra? No, just me that. Right. They have a painting of the Three Graces, a very famous Victorian statue of three naked ladies just prancing around in the nude. It's what gentlemen did when they didn't have Playboy. They just made erotic statues and said, oh yes, Three Graces, oh, very Greek and all that. So it was just a sort of marble way of having porn, really. So the ad man painted a version of the Three Graces, but he put modern bras and panties on. So that's what I had to look at for an hour. Yes, you pity me, don't you? Yes. So this is called 34B or not 34B. The Three Graces have no problems in finding bras to fit their sizes, seeing as they are paintings of statues, something concocted by an ad man. But we, alas, of flesh and blood, can never find one that fits just so. And so we took our bits into whatever nearly fits. Choosing a bra gets the right tits. Thank you. You have to imagine that in a female voice. And then, this is a strange poem. A guy has sort of started doing me in America. It's called Alan S. Johnson. And he has got a lovely, delicious, delectable, chocolatey Ken Norden type voice. And he elected to do this poem and put it to music and do spoken word with it. And he did a great version of it altogether, better than I can do. Now, I have written over 3,000 poems. And Elaine is a bugger for going, read number 69. What about 249? I can't remember what 249 is. So Ken, or Alan rather, decided that he was going to do And There Was Me Without an Eye. I was coming back from Belfast after doing a book fair. We'd just seen Nick Rogue and his wife at the time. They just brought out Insignificance and we were chatting and talking. That was great. We got down as far as Dundalk and we're nearly home to Bray. And we pull up at a red light and we just sidle there and she has her hand on the wheel like that. And I turn to the left and go, ha! Look at that car. That car doesn't stop. It'll crash into us. And I had time to look at it and it didn't stop. And not only didn't stop, it crashed the red light and the next point of impact was me. So it's very funny to see your own death hurtle towards you. So I had never done this poem and Alan had. So it's rather hard to do a poem that somebody else has done. It's not like my poem anymore. It's called And There Was Me Without an Eye. Time dawdles, stretches out the crash to an infinity of now. Casually, I watch the car crash into my side as if it were someone else's story. Car runs a red light, the crash is about to happen, taking its time. I watch my door buckle as if an invisible monster wanted to eat its way towards me. Time finally stops. I fade to black, karate chopped from luggage from the back. I drink up unconsciousness, thirsty for the oblivion it brings. The world leaves me now, even my thoughts don't want to know me. I am no more, and me without an eye. You knocked, death asked politely. No, just passing through. Life swims back to me from a distant horizon. Hey, shouts life, it's me. Do I know you? I ask. Thank you. And then this is a pretend case of being dead. When the last one was when I nearly did become a ghost. So this is called Getting Used to Being Dead. You hardly know when you're dead. It's just a different kind of alive. I hang around my old shed, touch and not touch my rusting tools. Some of the other ghosts hang out at the bandstand, but only when it rains. We call ourselves the Ghost Club, chat about this and that, and this. You know, the little things that make a life. We keep in touch with the living, shadowing them, pretending to be their shadow, hidden in a sudden slant of sun on an evening. We shout and shout, but our words are invisible. It's like living in a parallel dimension, living inside a snow dome when it's turned upside down, the fake snow falling, mimicking the real snow falling outside. I'd love to cry, but I've forgotten how, and I don't know if it's allowed. It's a life of sorts. Somehow I get by. I miss my boy. Bye. 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 And before you go, I shall read you a fairy story. If I can get into this. It's past. It's way past your bedtime, Elaine, isn't it? I usually read Elaine a fairy story at this time, so I think we should keep to that, shouldn't we? All right. And this is another one that Alan has done for me the other day. It's called "What the Cats Don't Want to Hear, the Cat Don't Hear." It's to the only begetter of these ensuing lines, Mr. A.S.J. The chair liked the room it was living in. The day before, it was living in a shop, only one of many such chairs. Now, it had a room of its own. Indeed, it was the only chair in there. It even had its own desk, yet the desk was full of its own self-importance, and it only indulged in the usual polite conversation about how far or near one should be to it. The chair was rather proud of the cloud of unknowing that lay open upon it at page 144. The desk was profoundly jealous of it, whereas the chair actually took pleasure in the mere fact of its mistress's posterior. A mirror slightly to the side allowed the chair to look out upon a garden and talked continuously about the weather. A lawn ran down to the flint-faced wall, and beyond the wall's flint-facedness lived, so the chair believed, the world. The chair, even if it had to say so itself, and human voices agreed with its opinion, that it looked extremely elegant. The chair enjoyed being a chair. The only thing that irked was the cat, whose habit it was to doze upon it when the humans left the room. "Shoo, shoo," the chair cried out in deep despair, but the cat either did not speak or pretended not to understand what was said to